Welcome back to Earrings Off. Today we're diving into a theme that feels especially real for both of us right now, probably many of us, storms. Not just the ones in the sky, but the ones that hit our lives, our emotions, our plans, and even though we hate to admit it, sometimes even our faith. April, the month of April is known for its showers, but honestly, storms don't wait for any particular month. They show up whenever they want. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in one right now, a real one. A season that's been stretching me, testing me, and forcing me to stand even when I'd rather sit down. But storms have a purpose. And today we're going to talk about that here on Earrings Off.
Absolutely. And the thing about storms, real storms, is that they follow patterns. They form from pressure, from heat, from moisture building up in the atmosphere. And isn't that exactly how storms form in our lives?
Yeah, yeah.
Pressure builds, emotions heat up, something shifts, something breaks, something overwhelms us, and suddenly we're standing in the middle of a downpour that
Mm,
we just didn't ask for.
hmm hmm
But but storms don't last forever. They move, they pass, and they
Ah,
leave
yeah.
something behind. Sometimes damage, yeah, but also clarity, cleansing, and growth.
Wow. I tell you, Teresa, that is so, so true. Now, let's talk about how they actually form because the science really is a perfect analogy for life. A storm begins when warm air rises and it meets cooler air. That clash, that tension creates instability. And instability is what produces clouds, thunder, lightning, and rain. Now, if we think about life, storms form the same way. A clash between expectations and reality, what we hoped and thought would happen and what we're actually facing in real time. A clash between what we hoped for, what actually occurred, and a clash between our strengths, what we can do, what we feel capable of, and our limits, our limitations. That instability creates emotional clouds. I'm saying this and I'm starting to preach to myself. Worry, fear, disappointment, pressure. And before you know it, you're in a storm. It's a storm and it's raging.
Yes, and clouds are not the storm. They're the sign that something is forming. In life, clouds look like a conversation that didn't sit right,
hmm
a bill you weren't expecting,
hmm
a relationship that feels a bit off, a job situation that's shifting, a feeling in your spirit that something is changing. Clouds don't mean panic, they mean prepare, they mean pay attention, they mean anchor yourself before the rain hits. And sometimes clouds are just clouds, not
Yeah.
disasters.
Yeah.
We can't let every dark moment convince us that a storm is coming. Sometimes it's just a passing shadow.
And Teresa, that's so true. When we talk about the emotional piece of it, we get so overwrought immediately when we feel like something's brewing, a storm is coming. So we have to somehow calm ourselves, take a breath, and just remember that it's not always a catastrophe or a storm. But storms are universal. Everyone faces them. I don't care who you are, they happen. But history shows us that storms don't get the final say. Let's talk about some examples of people who faced storms and came out stronger. And the one that comes to mind for me, Teresa, is Oprah Winfrey. You know, Oprah was just recognized by Forbes magazine as America's most successful self-made
That
American.
I
I
saw.
mean, the most successful. And when it was announced, when she was told of the honor, she became visibly emotional. And in that moment, when I saw the clip, I thought about no doubt she was probably thinking about what she had overcome, the challenges that she faced. I mean, everything that she's accomplished as an African American woman with her background. No doubt that did not, she probably didn't see that in her future, being named America's most successful self-made American.
I
Because
don't know, Lou. I heard her speak. She saw herself as successful from an early age, you know?
oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
and that's part of it,
yeah,
believing it. But I'm
yeah.
talking about with the poverty that she faced, with
She,
the trauma, with the rejection, and the many setbacks that, I shouldn't say maybe she saw it, but it's not um, something that the average person would see given her history, that
right.
she would be.
Outside looking
Yeah.
in.
Right, right, right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And no doubt there were storms in her life.
Yeah, Lou, that Oprah is an amazing
Yeah,
example,
yeah,
right? Of
yeah,
how you can overcome. So
yeah.
another person that comes to mind is J.K. Rowling. You know.
Yes, yeah. Who doesn't know her? Yeah,
Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon,
yeah.
she was a single mother living on government assistance,
That's amazing. Yeah, I
battling
heard her story.
depression and facing rejection from multiple publishers.
They just kept rejecting her. Wow.
She lost her mom, which devastated her. She had a failed marriage. Her storms probably felt endless.
Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
what she did? She kept writing. She
Kept riding in the storm.
in the storm and she kept standing. And her breakthrough came after the darkest season of her life.
And see, there's a message in that.
Mhm.
Even in the storm, you keep you keep standing. You keep moving forward. You keep doing what you do. Because storms do. They pass. And Teresa, the one I think about is Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. And much of that time in prison, he was in solitary confinement in a small space all by himself for untold hours each day. And he said that the separation from his family was almost unbearable because he cited the isolation really as the most difficult part of being in prison. Yet, after 27 years, he somehow emerged with forgiveness, leadership, and a vision for unity. His storm was long, painful, and it was unjust. He didn't deserve the storm. He did nothing to warrant such a storm. But he didn't let bitterness win. He stood until the storm passed. And his legacy, to say that it changed the world, is a gross understatement.
You're right about that.
Mandela. Yeah,
Right
yeah.
about that. These stories remind us that storms don't disqualify you. They develop you. They deepen you. They prepare you for what's next.
And, as I said in the beginning, I'm in a storm right now. May not look like it, but I am, and I won't pretend it's been easy. Some days feel very heavy. Some moments are confusing for me. I don't understand it, but I too am choosing to stand. I'm choosing to trust that this storm is temporary and that something is being strengthened in me. And believe it or not, I feel that I am growing through this storm. So if you're listening and you are in your own storm, I want you to know this. You're not weak because you're tired. You're not failing because you're struggling. You're not lost because you can't see the sun right now. Storms limit visibility, but they don't erase direction.
And storms always pass, always. The clouds break, the sun returns, the ground dries,
Mhm.
and what felt overwhelming becomes a memory and often a lesson.
And
So,
often a testimony.
so don't let the storm derail you. Don't let the clouds intimidate you. Don't let the rain convince you that you're alone. You're not. You're
Mhm.
growing. You're being strengthened. You're being prepared. This too will pass.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If this episode spoke to you, we ask one thing. Share it with someone who might be standing in their own storm. And remember, storms don't last, but you will. Take care and have a good day.